Hello there, beautiful internet and you amazing creatures of the beyond. Hope you guys didn't miss me too much. I know I've been away for quite a bit, but it is what it is. And now I'm back like a heart attack, and let's get ready to rock. Today, we are gonna play a little bit with fill and gradient, and we're gonna explore some interesting techniques. So let's start with a little subject that I have here, and which I do not see for some reason. Okay, let's start with this beautiful subject, which we will call Wolfy or Wolfy. Um, this is made for a friend. He is developing a small game, and he asked me to do some silly sprites, and I did cartoonish sprites. So, what's interesting about this Wolfy is that, well, first of all, it's quite simplistic made because it does not have any gradients in this situation, but it does have the idea of a gradient based on how I place these layers. But we will discuss about proper gradients and how we can use them to make global gradients in a way to ease our work. And it's quite fascinating because I have been testing in my absence with some new techniques, and they can improve your work and improve your workflow actually. And ah, sorry, I'm a little bit distracted because of all my thoughts going through my head of what I want to do here. But let's get started. So I have this sprite. In games they're called sprites. That, for example, is this wolf in the normal state. We can put the wolf into the scared state, or we can make the wolf dead in the hit state or dead state. Actually, I did make a dead state like this, but it didn't look quite all right, so I just left it at hit. Anyway, this is how I uh, put it in the layers and name them and so on. And you can see that I've also set up all the naming conventions for the different parts so they can be moved. And then if we want, we can go even better and disguise the wolf to look like in sheep's clothing. Well, I know, iconic and maybe a bit cliche, but it is what it is. And again, all I did was just to put this wool on top of him and then did the same with the scared and blah blah blah. So, what we're gonna do here is, let's say we want to make the same three states, but with the wolf in a different color. So what we could do is just copy the three states that I did earlier. Let me just put them on a different layer. Let's say Wolfy red. Let's put it above, add, and let's move all of this here. So I can disable this layer if I need to, the original one. And now we want to make these three wolves that are overlapped, obviously. And I overlap them because in case I wanted to change the shape of the body, for example, it's much easier to keep it in place. So I can pivot certain elements, and when it moves from one sprite to the other, it does not shift or look like the parts are breaking apart. Anyway, so let's say we want to make this wolfy red. So I'm just gonna select this color and let's go. Yeah, I have transitioned to the OKHSL because it's so much nicer to work with this the colors are so much easier to manipulate and keep warm and so on. And we still can use the HSL here. So let's say we're gonna use this reddish color. Obviously, I can do the same here, the same here, and the same for these ones. Oops, I think I've selected the wrong one. Hop. So we have selected this. Now, I forgot this one. Hop. Now let's make these shadows. Damn it, I hate this. This, and let's make it, I don't know, let's use the same color and darken it. Oopsie. Seems like I've collected something I shouldn't have. And how the hell do I I hate when this happens. Damn it. Yeah, selection is not the strongest suit of Inkscape, but it's doable. It's doable. Anyway, where were we? We're gonna close this shadow like this. And we're done. Now, if we have it in this format, then if I want to apply it to the next one, the next phase, the problem is that I have to go through the selection all over again, which sucks. But there is a little trick. Which personally, I don't think that this is the best approach to it, but it's here. So for example, when we are into the fill, let's say I'm gonna create a new, now it's remembering the last color, right? But let's say I use this fill. Now, if I want to create another color over here and make it this green, for example, I could, in theory, go here and we can, actually, I could remove the color and just add a new one here, like so. But. So this one removes it, and this one's flatten it. Anyway, if we move to auto, we could, but where is it? Unicorn symbols. Swatches. So we have swatches over here that we can play with. So for example, I can set this to this and this to this. And the thing with these swatches is that they are saved per file. If we want to make a new swatch, we can go here into the swatch tab. So I'll explain in a moment why this is important. Right now it's using the same swatch. So let's say I take this last color and I'm gonna make it, let me switch back to the normal Inkscape. Let's say I'm choosing this one to be a yellow. But if I select on this one, you will see that it automatically goes to swatches. If I'm here, it will go to the normal flat color. Now, what's interesting about flat swatches is that if I go here, and if I modify this swatch, it modifies all the swatches, or all the objects that, or the paths in this case, because I can also apply it to a path. So let's say I'm gonna create a random path over here. I can go here and I can tell it, create me this swatch. Now, important step over here is the fact that every time you click on this button, it creates a new swatch, which is annoying. This is why I think it's quite over the top, because right now if I modify it, it's going to inherit. Shoot. Let's see if I can bring it back. Well, if I select this, obviously it's a new swatch. So working with swatches is a pain. And I'll show you another better way to do it. But right now, if I want to remove this swatch, all I have to do is just remove it like here, and it's going to, I don't know why it made a gradient out of it. It's stupid. It should be just a flat color. So the only way to edit a gradient is to select already an object or a path that has the gradient, and then go on it and modify it. Because right now, if I'm gonna go here, let's apply, damn it. The way to do it is to go into Auto, right click the bastard, say delete, and there we go. And now I have to apply, if I want to apply this swatch, I can either go here and apply this swatch here, or I can just do it here. I think it's much easier to do it down there than to do it here in this panel. Actually, this panel is quite annoying in many ways. But because you can't do much, you can delete them and so on, but I don't know, it feels unfinished. This should be have more options here, or at the very least they should integrate this part into the swatches here, so you have more control of not creating swatches by accident, because it's so easy to misclick and to just do a new swatch. Anyway, so I'll just close it because it's annoying. So right now I'm just holding on to this swatch. Now, if I want to add another swatch, I just need to create it like this, and then we have the secondary swatch. So now I just have to apply it, and now if I want to make it another color, easy peasy. So, shoot. Also, this is another problem. You have to make sure you're not selecting it. You have to select only the ones that are already have the colors applied. Silly billy. But the cool thing is, let's say we're gonna create a new swatch here. So I'm selecting this color, saying that this is our new swatch. I'm gonna select this color, new swatch, and this color, new swatch. Oh shoot, that's not the right one. Actually, wait, I only did 2 colors. Yeah, never mind. So the way we do it right now, maybe I should have selected these things as well and make them dark. Anyway, so now if I go to the let me just remove this once so they don't get in the way. Let's go to the scared version. Now all I have to do is just select the elements that I want to change and select the swatch, and that's it. Easy peasy. Now I just have to select this. I forgot the legs. Never mind. It's multicolored Wolfy. So I'm gonna select the darker one. I also have to, oh, okay, never mind. I have to select this one individually because these ones are created with borders. Anyway, and this one, this one, this one, this one, we're gonna make them this swatch. So the advantage is that now that if I modify the swatch itself, so I have to select it, go into the modification of the swatch. Actually, should remove this one. So if I'm gonna make him a little bit more purplish, yellowish, okay, whatever. Let's say yellowish. Damn it. This one isn't correct. So now if I selected it to be a little bit yellowish, if I go to the normal Wolfy, we see that it applies the same thing. The problem is, what the hell happened here? I didn't select the colors. Interesting. Let's try that again. Oops. And this ear. Okay, so let's go and see this again between normal and scared. Okay, so if I select this and I start modifying the swatch to be, let's make him blue, because why not? So this is the scared, this is the normal. Perfect. So we have manipulated the color correctly now. Let's bring him back to the normal one. Okay, let me do the hit one as well. So we have to, and this is really useful if you want to work really fast on colors, but I feel like it's still underdeveloped and it could be done much better. Because the control is over the hand, and I'll show you guys an easier method to, I mean, sure, if you have lots of repeating objects, this is the way to go. But generally speaking, oh, what did I do here? Generally speaking, I think it's not very advantageous. So again, let's see. Let's go to the normal one, select this color, make it a green one. Okay, let's go to the hit. Perfect. But we already see the problem is that if we want to change this particular color, then we have to do it in a flat way. If we accidentally click this, we're gonna create a new color. So yeah, really not my style. So what I recommend is that you do your own physical swatch. So how do we do that? Well, quite easy. First of all, let me make sure that this is a flat color. And let's go back to Inkscape. Where are you? Yes, I'm blind today. Okay, so I'm gonna make this like this, maybe, or maybe a little darker. Let's give it some corners like so. Perfect. So what I would do is just create small colors like this. Oh. And as you can see, when I use the pick drop, whatever it's called, dropper tool, it creates a flat color. So it does not inherit, although there are ways to inherit it, but never mind. So I'm just gonna make it like this. Let's make it also maybe a 3. Perfect. Maybe like that. Anyway, so I would do like this. Then I would do another color like this. Another color, oops, like this. And another color like this. Oh, and we have the teeth. And then we have the nose. And I think the last one is the eyes, but yeah, it's a different color. So then we can kind of arrange them. Oh, oops. Dun, 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 dun. Where was the arrange button? We can, oops, shoot. Yeah. So first of all, let's group this. Let's arrange it like so. And now inside the group, I think we can use which one? This one? Let me just check. So if I apply this one, no? Oh, come on, which one was it? Oh, it did distribute it, but I'm just silly. Anyway, they look okay. They look centered. So I would do something like this. I'm gonna group it all again. And just play around with it, you know, move it where I need, select the colors that I want. Because sometimes maybe I want to make a different color on this part, on a different color on that one. And it's much easier for me to just have them here and not accidentally select and creating new swatches. And there's too many clicks, in my opinion. And just if you have few subjects, like in this case 3, it's much easier to change them that way. And yeah, this is interesting how we can play with swatches. Of course, an alternative would be to create clones, but then if you want to modify some things, it's gonna be a pain. You would have to create individual clones. And the thing is, like, let's look at these legs. These legs are not copy pasted. They have like their own kind of shape. Small differences, but they add up, you know. So it's the front legs are not copied with the back legs. And even the front legs are a bit different in nature because I shifted a few things here and there, and it just makes it the form more organic, which is very pleasant for the eye. So then I would have to clone each individual leg, and then I would have to place it, and then if I want to control the color from the clone, I do it that way. But I think we're overcomplicating things, and in general, it's better to keep it simplified. Perfect. Now let's go and discuss about gradients. So let's say that this wolf is going to have a gradient here. And we're gonna apply a normal one. Oh, that's interesting. It will not allow me to apply. I didn't know this. So I have to go into flat color. It can't be applied over a swatch, which I think makes sense, but whatever. So I could do it like this. And let's say here it's gonna be a little darker. So now if I want to apply the same, that there is a limitation to this. Let's say I want to put it in an angle like so. Let's use a 45-degree angle. So if I place it like this and I want to repeat it on the other this swatch. Let's say I want to put it from the hit on the scared. I'm gonna select it. And instead of doing the gradient from scratch, although I have to put this to flat, I will go here into linear gradients, and it already applies it. But it applies the original one that I went, so I have to go and select it from over here. So it kind of works like swatches in a way. Actually, it is working exactly like swatches because we have the swatches over here. It's kind of a library. But we already see the problem. The problem is it's not oriented correctly, and you won't get the same thing. So it's much easier to just copy paste the whole body, because when you copy paste it, you copy paste it with the gradient itself, and it's in the right position and so on. But if you have like only horizontal, I don't think it works for verticals, does it? Let's test it. So let's say we're doing a gradient over here, and let's say, I don't know, green, and we're gonna select the same green but go darker. So as I said, if I would want to just do it, I'd just duplicate it and I would maintain the gradient and the position. But let's say I create a new shape, and now if I want to apply the same gradient, yeah, this is the problem. It always applies it horizontally. So then I would have to manually place it like so. In a way, it's not bad because the shape can be elongated or shortened or whatever. But the fact that you cannot control how the gradient is going to be pasted. Oh. Yeah. This only changes the orientation. And what's weird is the fact that, let's see, if I try to change the gradient now, let's say the color here. Yeah, it does not apply. It does not apply to this gradient either. It's silly. And if we look here, we already created a new gradient. So if I want to remove it, just have to click minus here, and then it goes to the next one. Again, it's kind of all over the place, the UI. So, but if you want to get gradients very fast from one shape to another and without remaking them or trying to use the drop tool to select this color and so on, you have them saved here. But yeah, again, not super beautiful. It's much easier to just copy paste this shape, and well, in this case it's an object, but I would apply it as a shape. And if I would copy paste this shape now, I mean duplicate it, now I can better manipulate the form, and it's much easier for me to do it this way rather than dispersing the whole thing. Anyway, different methods, you choose yours. But I think we're doing quite all right from this point of view. So yeah, that's cool about gradients and repeatable swatches or global swatches. What else could I? Oh yeah, one other important thing. Let's get rid of these bastards. Let's say we have a shape like this. Let me remove this. And actually, I'm gonna do something interesting. I'm gonna duplicate it. And let's add an offset. Let's make this a different color. And let's go, I don't know, -2. Let's go -5. So we have a better viewing experience. Let's apply this. And let's actually, I'm always like using the short keys to remove it, but this is one thing that happens. If I press Control minus, it removes it, but it leaves me the original shape. So if you don't want to do that, you can just select both shapes and go into the shape builder or whatever it's called. Yeah, shape builder. And press Shift minus, bam. Same thing. But let's say now we have this shape here and we want to do a gradient that looks interesting around the corners. So one way I could do this is to just select the gradient, and obviously if I want to do a circular gradient, I'm going to choose the radial gradient. Obviously it's going to select whatever color it's closest. And let's enable this full color. Okay. So now let's say the center is going to be darker and these ones are going to be a little bit more open. But we have this issue. We can pull it if we want. Actually, let's make it a bit more contrasty. So let's choose something like this. So we can kind of see the difference. So we can already notice that it's not following the shape. And it can't. It really can't because it's not meant to follow the shape. It's meant to be going in a circular motion. Well, it's not really circular, that's why it's radial. It's more like an ellipse that we can control how high and how thick it can be. So another alternative to this, let's remove it. I go like this. Come on. Damn it. Okay, another way is to use not the mesh. No, not the mesh. Where is it? Oh, it should be the mesh. The mesh tool, which again could be used in many ways, but I think it's very difficult to control and you really need to know what to do. It's a very powerful tool, in my opinion, because if you learn how to control the oh damn it, the form, for example here, if I'm gonna create a new one, you see it's gonna try to create it based on this shape, but it's a pain, and the gradients themselves, they're actually flat colors and they blend into each other. So yeah, you have to know what you have to click, like so. And yeah, it's painful to do it this way. But fortunately for us, there is a better way. Have to remove the whole color again. So what is that beautiful better way? Well, believe it or not, we could do it with, well, let me choose a different color here. So I'm gonna duplicate this and I'm gonna transform it into a mask, bring this one, a clipping mask, and I'm gonna duplicate this one again, and I'm gonna apply again an offset, and let's go, although it might be problematic and we will see why. Let's go 2. No, -2, sorry. Yeah, this is the problem. It tries to correct the negative space inside the hole. So it shrinks from both sides, from this side, from the left side, and from the interior, which is not good. So what we have to do in this case, oh come on, wait, I need to remove it. We have to fill it in. So we can fill it in just by doing this with this. Come on. What the hell did I do? Okay, like that. You have to click and drag. I always forget that. Okay, so now it's a solid shape. So now if I apply the offset again, let's call it -3. It's perfect. So this is, the mask is going to be on top. I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna select the set clip. And what happened? Okay, never mind. It was the same color. That's what happened. I'm gonna remove this for a moment. Actually, I can also apply it. Let's leave it. Let's make this darker. So now we have the shape, but it's not a gradient. And it's very easy to make a gradient. We just blur it. And this is the reason why I have created it as a solid and I have created the shape. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, so if we look, this is, no, you bastard, don't crash. Okay, so we see that this is the edge of the mask and the interior, which we cannot see now. Let me reopen it. Did I save it? Okay, fortunately Inkscape is sneaky enough to make a backup in case everything fails. And hopefully it has our last saves. It does not. Where are you? Oh, it does. What the heck? Crap. This sucks. Let me release the clipping mask. Weird. Okay, so it did something weird there. Let me group this. This is gonna be, where is the mask actually? That's weird. Okay. I don't know what's happening here. Let's delete it. Duplicate this, create it as the new mask. And apply it. Set clip. Perfect. Now the reason why I put that in a group is so I can edit it a little bit easier. And I still have the offset applied to it. So if I want to enlarge it, I can just do it like this. And if I want to control how much I want to blur it, I can do it from here. Let me save. So I can do it like something like that. Let's put it 15, looks nice. So as you can see, we've created quite some nice gradients. Of course, I can also create a gradient from the outside in the same mask actually. But I would have to do... Let's try it. So in order to do that, let's duplicate the shape behind, the one that's green. And let's offer it an offset as well. But I can't. And the reason I can't is because we have to... Yeah, this is gonna be problematic. It does this. So how can I prevent it from... So we want to go in the interior. In this case, let's try something. So I'm gonna make this a different color for now. I'm gonna select the original shape. I'm gonna come over here. So we know that this is the outer edge. Let's fill this in. So I'm gonna go like this, hop, and bam, and I'm gonna cut out this. Bam, perfect. So now this is exactly on the edge. So now if I go back and offer it another, obviously the path effect applied because I modified it when I cut it. So I'm gonna put another offset, and this time I'm gonna go into the positive, and I'm gonna make like a 3. No, that's too much. 1, maybe 0. I don't know, 5. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is just take this and put it inside here. Go in. Go in. There we go. And again, we have the... maybe it should be 1. And now let's make it the same color as this. Which color are you? Let's copy the hex code, the RGBA, and we're gonna apply it here. And now I can also apply a beautiful... I cluttered the whole thing. The beautiful blur. So let's go with 20. Let's keep it 15, but let's make it more open. And the cool thing about this, or maybe we can go with a bit more lime color. The thing is, I think the blur is going into one another. Let's see it. Oh no, it's not. Whatever. Maybe try a different, something like this. Maybe a bit yellowish. So the cool thing about this technique is that now I can see it, and let's go and apply an actual gradient on it. So I'm gonna apply it on this one. I hope I can click on it correctly. And we can apply it like this, and it's gonna make it transparent here on this side, obviously. So now I can control how much shade I want to leave on this side and how much I want to put on this side, and the same can be applied to the external one. So let's say, usually I don't like to leave it to play with the alpha. I just like to play with the colors directly because it gives a better impact. So we want more shade on this side and better light on this. So again, maybe a little darker here, a little darker, a little, like that. And of course you can control which direction it has to go. But we already have a much better fluid gradient than what we had before, and it looks nice. And again, if I really want to... The thing is, once you applied, let's say I apply this shape like I don't know. Let's say I'm choosing a different angle. If I go here and I select the previous gradient, it keeps the angle, which is really nice. But unfortunately, I lost the other RGB. So this sucks because you don't have much control over this library to save the RGBs. And but I'm sure they will improve it over time. It's just that most people don't play around with these elements too much, and they're quite hidden. You have to know where you have to click and what to do with them, and it can get overwhelming because of all of the settings that you have here crammed around. I'll admit that the UI is not user friendly on this panel, but this panel is meant to be more advanced usually, and something like Illustrator does a much better job at handling the intuitiveness of where things are and how you can manipulate them. But here, you have this limitation. Of course, you can get used to them, but I'm not an advocate of uh, getting adapted to the software. The software should adapt to you. Therefore, you should have as many options as possible to make it as easy for you to do your workflow. But again, these are quite still in development, and they still need to set it up better. But nevertheless, it looks fantastic. So yeah, hope we have learned something useful here today, and you can apply it to your own beautiful things. I'm gonna have more interesting videos in the future that are going to transcend just the vectorial thing. We're gonna move into digital painting, and the reason why I want to kind of transition to digital painting a bit is because you can create some amazing organic things with raster designs in any software, GIMP, Photoshop, or whatever, or Affinity, and you can bring those concepts within Inkscape, and we can follow along the paths and so on, and we can do some really, really cool things to simulate 3D into 2D space of Inkscape. But first, we need to better develop our eyes and our understanding of how 3D happens within. Well, and I think personally that digital painting, is a better medium to get you the necessary concepts of seeing things in 3D, because in in vector design we work a lot with lines. Not really, but I mean, we're creating lines to create shapes. So for example, if I want to create something like this, it's sorry, I put it inside the mask. We can already see that it's difficult to manipulate it. Another way to create shapes is to just create directly, I mean, is to convert an ellipse into a path and then add new points and move them. It's not as easy to do as when you're painting directly with a stylus or even with the mouse, um, than to just drag these things, because they don't follow a very easy path to manipulate. You have to always manipulate these nodes and so on. I mean, we have this tweak tool, but oh, I thought it would manipulate the nodes. Anyway, there is a way to sculpt the nodes as well, but I forgot where it is right now. But it's over the hand. I would not recommend doing it here. And once we have organic shapes that we can paint, then we can transition them here and we can try to simulate them. And also it's much easier to paint shades and highlights to simulate 3D than it is in Inkscape, because in Inkscape we always have to make use of the clipping masks. And this is an extra step. I mean, it's the same concept in raster design. You have to make a mask. But here working within the mask is a bit tedious. Let's say I'm gonna make something like this. This is just for concept only. And let's say we're gonna make it a little lighter. So I have to put the mask on top. I have to group this, and then I have to set clip. So there's quite a lot of steps involved. And now I have to select my thing, go like this, and then inside the mask I have to create new things like so. Let's say in the mask I said. And now let's do it a little darker. So as you can see, it's getting that 3D-ish look, but it's not as easy as painting over it. Anyway, enough theory for today. Go play with the wolves. That is fun. Ended up looking quite cute. Okay, guys, stay awesome. And I'll catch you all in the next experiment. See ya. Bye, 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 bye.